Welcome, everyone, to the Sunshine State and the birthplace of NASCAR, Daytona Beach, Florida. Since 1959, a driver's career can be made or broken at this famous 2.5-mile trial that's been served as a proving ground for some of the greatest names in all of racing. With 31 degrees of banking in the turns and speeds of up to 200 miles an hour on straightaways, drafting has become a necessity in order to master the pack and win at the Daytona International Speedway. Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Area Lodgebox series, where we kick off the last series in this in Season 2 of Area, the inaugural race of Season 2, I should point. I'm Ernest Levy, your lead announcer, and joining me in the booth, as always, is executive producer Harold Darner and Jacob Bell, another voice that may be familiar to you that watched last season. He's back for the Lodgebox series. Jake, Harold, how's it going?
It's going good, Hunter, man. I'm excited to be back here in the broadcast booth. My first time this season getting to call a race. Got to race on Monday, got to race on Tuesday. Tonight I get to watch the Lodgebox series, go at it with you.
It's going to be a fun one. We got about 30 cars or so on the track. Still some you have to put a lap time down in qualifying, but one driver that we will have to keep an eye on, even though I can't really see him on the leaderboard. His name is Cameron Hearn. He is the defending Lodgebox Series champion. I mean, picture Ty Gibbs in the ARCA Series last year. That's basically what Cameron Hearn did in the Lodgebox Series last year. I mean, absolutely dominating. Jake, can he continue that for Season 2? Because we got a few new names in the series that might be a challenge for him.
Yeah, we'll get to take a look at some of those new names, like you said, but you mentioned it, man. Cameron Hearn with a dominant first season, Hunter, winning that championship, and I think a lot of people expected it, right? It's Cameron Hearn. Everybody knows the name, and he did not disappoint last season. He got it done in one of the hardest formats also that not a lot of people really consider, right? With their elimination format, with having to make it through each round of the playoffs, and he was able to do it, picked up 8 wins on the season, got the championship. Now, does he get the win tonight is the question. A lot of new faces. I don't know if I have the answer for that one, Hunter.
Harold, you've been here Monday and Tuesday night. We have some names that ran in the Cup Series and the Truck Series, and for some in both series. Which driver has stood out to you the most that's currently in our field tonight?
Well, you said Cameron Hearn. He's been in all. Eli Green is another. Christopher Buzz was in a couple of the races as well. The thing about this week has been different. I've seen I think with the new drivers. The drivers in Season 2 have yet got the rhythm down with the other drivers, so we've had a little bit more cautions. Like last season, we remember Jake and Hunter. We were in week 3 before we got our first caution, I think. Yeah, I mean, so it was definitely a different turn of events in the last 2 races. Hopefully, these guys slow down a little bit. 30 drivers on this big track. We're looking at with 95 laps. So that 200. These guys should be able to have a good race tonight and hang around for the end, because I want to see a finish with like 8 cars battling for the final position. That's what I want to see.
I'll say go back to turn 3 and 4. I think we got like a practice restart or a practice race set up. There was a big pack over there in turn 3. Yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to form a practice start and test out some of that 2 and 3 wide action that we could be seeing tonight. So we are using the regular Xfinity cars. I know Monday we used the next-gen cars. The Truck Series we use the regular trucks. We don't really know what to expect from the Xfinity cars, but I do expect them to go 3 wide. Jake, could there be a possibility of these guys going 4 wide?
And there we go. Sorry, I had my mic muted there. I think there always is that possibility of having a 4 wide in Daytona, no matter what series you're in. I will say these things have been a little bit trickier as of late, especially with the pushing. These cars, we're used to them being very, flat to the ground, pretty easy to push. Not really the case no more. They feel like they're a little bit off the track some, so we could see a lot of moving and shaking when getting pushed from both the guy getting pushed and the person doing the pushing,
like
as you see right there. Already wrecking in practice, so not off to a great start. But again, it's only practice, so we'll get their new cars coming to qualifying time in about 5 minutes. So can't put too much emphasis on the practice at a place like Daytona. But I think if it can get anything out of practice, Hunter, is that we're in for a wild one tonight.
I can totally see that. And one name that really stands out to me, I know we got some new names to the series, to the area league in general, but a new name to the Xfinity series that catches my eye is the fastest man on the board. That's Davey Hendricks. Now, he won at Daytona last year for the Cup Series. He won in a last lap pass against his teammate Cameron Hearn, which, shockingly enough, Cameron Hearn also finished second in the race Monday in the same fashion, pass out of turn 4. Just unfortunate there for it to happen to him twice. But yeah, Davey Hendricks really stands out. He's won in the Cup Series, and he's got the fastest car so far in practice. Jake, do you think he has a shot at winning tonight?
I think he does. I think, I think everybody really has a shot in this field, and I know it's not the answer you probably want to hear, Hunter, but it's true. One thing that does make me lean towards Cameron Hearn that we talked about a little earlier on today is Monday night for the Next Gen Cup Series. We saw Brad Slaughter go to victory lane. He won the Truck Series championship in Season 1. Tuesday night in the Truck Series, we saw James Shamewolf get the victory, and he won the ARCA Series championship in Season 1. There's only one defending champion, I should say, that's running tonight, and it's Cameron Hearn. So if you follow our format that we seem to have the first 2 nights of racing, there's a good chance we see Cameron Hearn get it done.
He could get it done. There's also a couple new guys, Ricky Harden, Richard Thomas, Ed Robertson's not new, Rick Christensen, currently our top 5. Some names that also stand out to me, Travis Beckner. Beckner has really improved over the last season and looking to start out on a high note for Season 2. And then Ryan Swan, he's also he won at the truck race at Talladega last year, and he finished in the top 10 in the Area 500. He's currently 12th on the board. That's another name that stands out. Carter Coop, new to area. He's got some real-life racing background on his own, and he's looking to translate that into the virtual one in iRacing.
Yeah, Carter Coop was just running the dirt track at Bristol last week, and now we get to race with him here at Daytona. So pretty cool to see Carter. Obviously, he's racing for the newly formed Bell Weishart Esports. Myself and David Weishart co-owning that team. Carter Coop's one of our drivers. Right in front of him, James Scioli is another one of our drivers. He was able to pick up a victory last season at Kansas, so he's a former race winner in this series. See Garrett Grant, another one of the members of that team. All 3 of those guys are in line, and then we have Bryce Setesak in the 09 tonight, Hunter. He ran the Cup Series last season towards the end of the year. Now he's making a full-time Lodgebox Series effort for Season 2.
Yeah, looking to start on a high note as well. A lot of guys are in. Really a familiar name here, Ed Morris Sr. He's back. Always good to see him in and give it his first go-around in the area. He's going to be, I believe is that him in the 14? Yep, that is Ed Morris Sr.
That's him.
Let me fix that.
It's cool there. I mean, we gotta be happy, right, Hunter? It's the first time we've seen Ed Morris back since the late model series we had almost a year ago, and he's making his jump to area. It's going to be his first race of this league, so we got to see how it plays out for him. And I got to give a personal shout out. Got one of my uncles racing tonight, making his first start. Fred Sample there in the number 87, so we'll have to keep an eye on him as well.
A lot of names to keep an eye on as we kick things off for the Lodgebox Series of Daytona, and the next race that we'll be going to next week will be Phoenix. So it's a bit of a different translation here, just kind of getting your feet wet, really testing out the car. 2.5-mile tri-oval, and then next week we go to Phoenix, which is a 1-mile dogleg D-shaped oval. Those will prove to be a challenge for some, and then the next race after that is Bristol, and everybody loves Bristol.
I'm going to try to fix that paint scheme on Mr. Morris. I just had to rename it. Hopefully it'll get rid of the sim stamp that was on that 14. There it goes. So you see here, Uncle Fred's there. He's in the 28th position, number 87. But yeah, it's just like we talked with, we're going to get Kushwa out here eventually too. So.
Yeah, you got to get everybody. Got to get them a part of this league, man. This thing's grown so much that if you don't sign up early these days, it feels like you might miss out, Hunter. We had go or go home qualifying Tuesday night. That's something I don't think I'd ever would have expected this league having, especially only in our second season. But it was pretty cool to see Those guys trying to make the show. We thought for a moment, too, Travis Beckner, you talked about him being in this race. We thought for a moment he was one of the guys that was going to be on the outside of the show on Tuesday, but he was able to rely on that provisional from season one and get into the big truck race. But looks like we got qualifying about to start.
Qualifying about to kick off. These guys will have 10 minutes to put down their fastest lap. Each driver gets 2 laps to put down their fastest time. Now, typically, the first lap, we'll see drivers run the outside groove to build up momentum. And then anywhere from the exit of turn 4 to the entrance of the tri-oval, we'll see them start to move down to the bottom for their second lap, which is really their fastest lap, their money lap. So that's a pattern that we will see. If we see anything different, it will be a shock for me.
Yep. Yeah. And also, we got to touch on that track record we got here from last season's race. It was Ricky Springer with a pole time of a 50.613. Have to see if that gets top tonight here in qualifying. A lot of good drivers going out to make their run, Hunter.
Some drivers go out as soon as they can, and then we'll see some go out as late as possibly 2 minutes. Just a couple of people, and then we'll have some guys not even go out at all. Just start in the back. We did see that Monday night. We saw Brad Slaughter. He won the pole for the Area 500, led a lap, and then just decided to drop to the back. Didn't want to be part of that mess. And we saw a couple of other guys make their way to the back as well. So we could see that again tonight, although the guys that don't qualify, I think their plan is simple. Just run in the back and then make the right moves necessary when it gets to the late point of the race.
Yep. I want to apologize, folks, for trying to work through a couple things here on the broadcast just to get it to the best possible quality for all of our viewers out there. So that's why you see some stuff moving around. Looks like we fixed it. We got the ticker up. People were texting me. It was a little bit blurry there. You couldn't read the names, couldn't read the times. Harold Darner got it fixed for us, and we get to see qualifying now, Hunter, and we get to see the times.
Harold has had a busy week. I mean, Monday night it started out rough, but it finished smooth. Chuck broadcast went well. Still trying to work some things out, but nonetheless, I appreciate Harold for the hard work that he's doing to provide the broadcast to the best experience possible.
Absolutely. Now that thing looks very crisp out there. You can see all the names, you can see the times, and you see Rick Christensen, the 19 first driver on track. Hunter, I think we'll have to watch to see if lap 1 or lap 2 is going to be quicker, but how about the 12 of Kyle Smith in his first race here in area? Right now, provisional pole at a 50.702, under a tenth of a second off that track record.
A lot of new drivers here, a lot of drivers that aren't on a team, so really, this could be their shot at saying, hey, I deserve to be on a team, or give me a chance, So
and there we go.
Some new teams being formed.
Jacob Hudson now taking the track record before Adam Capps eventually takes it away. Yep. Both those times way quicker than our current track record.
Yeah, so the track record was set by Ricky Springer last season with a 50.613. And right now, Adam Capps has beaten that, and I think he did that on lap 1. And now Rick Christensen beats it.
On lap 2. That was definitely lap 2 for Christensen. For Capps, I believe you were right. Yeah. They're going to have a bunch of times coming in here now.
New track records all around. Well, I honestly didn't expect to see that number being moved. And now we see it moved again by 1/1000th from Davey Hendricks. Boy, really, really fast times here in Daytona. I gotta be honest, I'm shocked. I did not expect that track record to be touched at all, and it's been broken by, 6 guys already?
Yeah, but it shouldn't be surprising that we see Davey Hendricks at the top, right, Hunter? I mean, he was the Area 500 winner from Season 1. It's going to drop down to the Lodgebox Series here on Thursday nights, and already on the pole here for Race 1 at the moment. Still 6 minutes left, though, and a lot of drivers yet to put down a lap.
We've only got 13 so far that have put down an official lap. So just imagine if we get, 13 more to put down a lap. We could see lap time go closer and closer to the 49-second mark. We see in the 10th spot, that's Mason Kane in the 32. Always good to see Mason drop down and participate in some of the area events.
Yeah, I believe this is his first area race as well. One of our good buddies now making his step into the league. Eli Green up there, second place. Here comes Travis Beckner, number 28, the CNC Logan Ford Mustang for Elite Entertainment Gaming. Looks like he's going to start his first lap time there from Fort Myers, Florida, down near my neck of the woods in South Florida. New fast time, Hunter. It's going to be Shane Theron in the 38, one of the drivers who made the Final Four in this series last season.
Yep, looking to continue that speed as he's on the top with a 50.362. We'll see if Travis Beckner can dethrone that lap time.
Beckner's looking for a good second lap. How about Transcendent Motorsports gifting 5 subs in the Twitch chat? Appreciate that. To the traders over there holding down the show and gifting some subs. That's pretty cool. Beckner here, Hunter, coming to complete lap 1.
Yep, Travis Beckner coming down the tri-oval. We'll see where he puts that number 28 machine. And it's going to be 13th quickest on the first lap. We'll see if he can try and get that car inside the top 10 for his second lap. And now we go to the number 97 car here on track. That is Charles Hender.
Kaneda, I believe there.
Kaneda.
And I could be wrong too. Another open driver making his, I believe this is his first Lodgebox Series start. I might have seen him last season in the Cup Series, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen the name before, but it looks like he's going to try to run the full campaign in Season 2 of the Lodgebox Series. He's starting his first lap. He's going with the approach of taking the top side, it looks like, all of lap 1 before he probably drops it down for lap number 2. So, different strategies in qualifying here.
Here's Alan Elwood. Elwood now on the newly renamed Elwood Design Esports team, and they've got some of the best looking paint schemes in all the area.
Oh no, yeah, no surprise there with Elwood Designs making some paint schemes. That's going to be a very good looking team, and right now he's looking for a good second lap. Looks like his first lap a little bit off there with a 54 second lap, so almost 4 seconds off pace there on lap 1. So he must have found a strategy that he wanted to deploy here in qualifying where he tries to take a really, really slow first lap and maybe set up for lap 2, and let's see if it works.
It does. Third. All of the Elwood Design Esports drivers are inside the top 7 with Shane Theron on the pole. Alan Elwood now dethroning fellow teammate Davey Hendricks from the 3rd spot, so he'll fall back to 4th, and then the slowest one of the 4 is Richard Thomas, and it's not even that slow. He's 7th quickest.
Yeah, less than a 4 1,000ths or 400ths or so off the top time. Here comes Ricky Harden. He's one of the cooler drivers we got in this series as well, making his league debut in that number 15. I've seen him a few times, I believe, on Twitter. Harden the Wall. I think he might have a Twitch channel as well from Greenville, South Carolina. He's making a start this season in the Lodgebox Series. He's got, looks like, Roderick Racing Developments as well on the hood of that race car. So a familiar sponsor, but with a new driver.
Yep, and with 2 minutes left, still have a handful of drivers or so who have yet to put down a lap time. Looks like he's the only one on the racetrack. As soon as I say that, I think Dustin Carroll has just entered the track as well.
I'm noticing what he's doing here, Hunter, is similar to what one of his friends, I'm guessing, Alan Elwood did, which is that really, really slow first lap. I mean, he's creeping around at 120 miles per hour here, and he's running out of time here in qualifying. So you know he's going to have to kick it up before the start of lap 2. But he's just now coming to take the green at a whopping 120 miles per hour.
And now slowly start to pick it up. And this isn't like real-life NASCAR qualifying where if you, say, take the green flag for a lap time at 15 seconds on a track like Daytona and the clock hits 0, that lap time will count. In iRacing, once it hits 0, that lap time will not count. So if you start your lap time with 40 seconds and you're coming off turn 4 trying to complete it and the clock hits all 0, that lap will not count. So you want to make sure you have enough time to get a lap, and I believe Ricky Hearn will have just enough time to do so.
So, yeah, he's going to have enough time, I think. I mean, I don't know. He's going to be flirting definitely close with it. He should be good here in the 15, and I think he's one of our last drivers on track. Almost everybody else was able to get in a lap time. So what you guys are looking at on the left side of your screen, our rundown should be pretty close
here. I don't know if he'll get that in.
He's going to have to hit the stripe by at least the 50-second mark. And it's close. It's close. I think you're right, Hunter. He might be 2 seconds too short, I believe, before he's able to put in lap 2 here.
So right now he is 21st. So if this lap does not count, he will start in that 21st spot.
Considering Senesac, Coop, Scioli, Santo, Buds, Sample, Grant, Morris Sr., and Hearn all without laps. That's a lot of drivers that just decided to stay in the back to start this thing.
Could be the smart way around for those guys. You never know. So here comes Harden off turn 4. It's going to be very close down to the wire. I don't know if he'll be able to do it. Down below the yellow line. Oh, did he just get it?
He
No,
might
I don't think he
have. I see the time popped up. I don't know if it registered, though, through the iRacing session.
Wow, that is extremely unfortunate there. Well, we'll get you your starting lineup here right now. On the pole, it is Shane Therian in the number 38, and joining him on that front row to his outside will be the number 54 of Colin Fambro.
Yeah, Shane Therian, how about making a Final Four appearance in Season 1, and then you come out at Daytona, you qualify on the pole. Can't ask for much better than that. Alan Elwood, he's going to start third, also was a Final Four driver last season in the Lodgebox Series. Davey Hendricks starting fourth, the Area 500 champion from Season 1.
Starting in row 3, it's going to be Eli Green in the 02, and starting to his outside, Final Four driver in the Cup Series last year, Ed Robertson, going to start 6th.
Two drivers making their series debut make up row 4. Charles Canida on the inside, Richard Thomas in the number 1 on the outside.
5, it's going to be the 24 of Zack Swissgood, probably the best name in the field, and then Rick Christensen in the 19, going to start 10th.
Row 6, A.J. Roderick in the number 56. Outside of him, Kyle Knapp making his Lodgebox Series debut in the 27.
And starting in row 7, it's going to be the 8 of Ryan Swan, sporting a really nice Dale Sr. paint scheme with the number 8 car. And to his outside will be the number 12 of Kyle Smith, starting 14th.
Row 8, we got teammates of Elite Entertainment Gaming, Adam Capps on the inside of that number 55. Outside is going to be the 28 of Travis Beckner.
And starting in row 9, making his debut to area, it's Mason Kane in the 32. And starting to his outside, it's going to be Christian Martinez in the number 10.
Rounding out the top 20 starters, Jacob Hudson, Series Director for the Elite Entertainment Cup Series, and Forrest Smith in the number 84.
And starting in row number 11, going to be 21st, it's Dustin Carroll in the 4. And to his outside, Ricky Harden in the 15, who did not get that second lap time to go through, was off by just a hair.
Reigning series champion Cameron Hearn's going to roll off in the 23rd spot tonight. Outside of him, James Scioli in the number 7.
Row 13, it's going to be Bryce Senesac in the 09, starting 25th. And to his outside, Garrett Grant in the 5, going to start 26th.
Andrew Santo and Ed Morris are going to make up row 14 back there, right behind them. Rounding out the top 30, Carter Coop with Christopher Buds in the 13 car.
And last but not least, Fred Sample, Jake's uncle, making his debut tonight. We'll see if he can improve on that starting spot.
Well, he's got only one way to go.
Car field. Yeah, only one way to go, and that's up. Jake, Harold, there you got winning tonight.
You know, I talked about the streak we had going with defending series champions winning both races so far. I'm going to stick with the trend. I'm going to go Cameron Hearn. I know it's probably not the fan favorite pick. I think he gets it done tonight at Daytona.
Would not count him out. Harold, who you got?
I'm going to go with Eli Green in the 02 car tonight.
For me, I got to go with the pole sitter, Shane Therian, because Brad Slaughter won it from the pole Monday night, and that was the only other race I called, so I'm going to stick with that trend of my own. Pole sitter Shane Therian will win tonight's race. There they go. Pace car makes the hard left turn on the pit road. Shane Therian, Colin Fambro leading the field to the green flag here at Daytona. We're underway for the Area 250. It looks like that's 0-2 of Eli Green blinking in and out very early, and there we see some guys, a lot of guys actually. Looks like 5 cars pulling down low below the yellow line, signaling, hey, I don't want to be up front, pass me. They want to be in the back and away from all this mess up front.
Yeah, Eli Green showing a big ping of 225. So maybe some connection issues with the 02 machine.
But we had talked about a lot of the storms right now hitting across the Northeast. So maybe same situation there going on with Eli Green and a couple other drivers. Lap 1 complete, though. Shane Theron keeping it up front.
Theron leads lap number 1. Although that outside line still making a charge, being led by Colin Fambro in the number 54. Now we see one more driver pulling down low, saying, pass me, please. I want you to pass me. As the outside line getting a bit of a push now with Davey Hendricks pushing the 54 of Fambro. And now the inside line will start to gather things back up with Theron being led by teammate Alan Elwood.
I noticed a lot of Toyotas at the front of the field right now, and you mentioned it. It's teammates on the bottom, Theron, Elwood up front on the top. How about the 54 of Colin Fambro there? He's getting pushed from another Elwood Designs Esports driver. It's Davey Hendricks in the 94.
Jacob Hudson just put up the fastest lap of the race on lap number 3. We'll see that change throughout the race on the top right of your screen, just below the 1 to go logo. Get a good look at these cars side by side down the backstretch. You can already see 3 packs being formed. The one up front, consisting of more side-by-side action, than the one just a tad behind, running single file, and then all the way in the back, it looks like a pack of about 5 or 6 cars just running way back from everyone in the field.
A lot of varying strategies, right? We see this big pack up front, a lot of guys trying to get to the lead, trying to push aggressively to get to that front spot, and then you got that pack in the back, single file on the bottom, just keeping it way far away from each other. Don't want any incidents, don't want nothing to happen, want to give themselves a way to escape if in case there is a wreck up front, and just different strategies. And that's what's great about Daytona is there's no right or wrong answer. You can be in the front lap 1 and win the race, you can be in the back lap 1 and win the race. All that matters is making it with a clean car and being there at the end.
We'll ride in car here with Davey Hendricks pushing Fambro on the outside. He's got 2 teammates to his inside leading the way on the bottom. That Theron and Elwood. And then even Elwood Designs on the bumper of that 54 right there.
Yeah, that's a trend in this Lodgebox series is a lot of Elwood Designs painted race cars. I mean, he's one of the best on the service at getting these things done. Beautifully done, and you can see why a lot of cars electing to go with Elwood Designs for their paints.
Well, one car looking pretty squirrely back there, trying to get up on the outside. Let me see, it looks like a 2-car breakaway now on the bottom. Theron and Elwood can come up if they choose so, but now the outside coming back on the front stretch.
Looks like Eli Green's machine is gotten back into full working order, so he had a solid car in the 02. Say, since you've been on the track a couple times there, Mr. Jacob, well, as I said, then he bounces out. What does that got to do to you here at Daytona, as close as you got to be, and you got a car blinking in and out like that?
Well, looks like I'm assuming their series director, Brad Slaughter, is going to go ahead and tell Eli he's got to give some way there because of what you just mentioned. And when you're behind somebody like that at a track like this where every single inch matters and you're trying to push each other, trying to work together, you can't have somebody blinking in and out. Eventually it's going to cause a big pile up. But Hunter, one thing I'm noticing outside of that, as Eli pulls off, it's got to be the 24 Zack Swissgood. First race in the series. Wasn't able to qualify on Tuesday night, unfortunately, in the CNC Logging Truck Series. I think he's racing with a vengeance tonight. He's already in the top 5.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the Truck Series, we have way too many drivers. I mean, it's good to have that many drivers, but unfortunately, all of them cannot race. It would be just a bit too much, but we're glad to see that he's racing tonight. And it looks like we got some 3-wide action now, as that looks like Davey Hendricks getting shuffled out of line.
It was less than I want to say a tenth and a third between the top driver and the first go-home driver.
Yeah, qualifying super close
tight
on Tuesday. Yeah. that's what made it hurt even worse, is knowing that just a few thousandths here or there was the difference of making the race or not tonight. No go or go homers, though, and all these drivers were able to start the event. I see Ed Morris Sr. now working his way up inside the top 20 for the first time. We still got this big pack up front right now, but new leader, it's Alan Elwood.
Yeah, after that outside line shuffled out Davey Hendricks, it allowed the 49 of Alan Elwood to make a move of his own and pass his teammate Shane Therian there and cleared him, and now he's the new leader. But that outside line's still coming now. Colin Fambro is still being pushed by now the next car behind him, and that is the 64 of Ed Robertson.
See Mason Kane now entering the pack for the first time as well in the number 32 car. So a lot of different faces that we're going to have to get used to, especially in this series, Hunter. That I believe this is your first time calling a Lodgebox series race up in the booth.
Yeah, it is. It's new for me. Only thing I haven't called is the truck series yet, but one day hoping to do that. But yeah, new series for me. Very excited to be doing this. I've heard that Xfinity cars are one of the better cars to race on in iRacing, and I'm glad I'm able to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, watching this all season long, it was a heck of a battle last season. Cameron was able to win the championship, but it wasn't without a fight. And these things are just such great cars, really allow you to race elbows up. Definitely a little different here at Daytona, though. I will say that from what we're going to see at the end of the season in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Cannot wait to see us crown a champion in the desert. So now we see once again the front two have the option to go up if they choose to do so. This time in reverse order, instead of Therian being in front, Elwood is in front and Therian is behind. See, these cars like to poke their car out quite a bit closer to the inside of the racetrack there on the straightaway.
Yeah, it's really just a matter of just how floaty these cars feel. I don't really know the best way to describe it other than floaty. I mean, you'll get behind somebody in a draft, and all of a sudden you'll start to lose the nose on it. So it's kind of part of the reason you're seeing these guys move all over the place. I won't lie, Hunter. The other part of the reason you see these guys moving all over the place is what we've been talking about all night. A lot of new guys to the series, kind of working around who you think you could work with, who you're not sure you could work with, and trying to sort all that out.
Yeah, go on, Harold.
I was going to say the comparison between the three types of vehicles that we've had. I mean, the trucks were kind of moving around. They're big, heavy, and they have a lot of air that they're distributing because of the size of the car. The Cup cars, or the new Cup car for me, seems more on a rail, is a lot more stable. But the Xfinity car, as you were saying, is a driver's car, but it's also the freest. So you're going to see a lot of movement based on, the air being changed around the cars. In the iRacing simulation, does a really good job of side drafting, back drafting, and these X cars seem to be the best ones to capitalize on all that air being pushed around.
One driver that's really capitalizing on it is Mason Kane. A lap ago, we saw him make it 3 wide and shuffled out. I believe that was the 12 of Mr. Kyle Smith there. And he tried to do it again coming into turn 1, but couldn't quite do it. But Mason Kane really trying to work that third lane going. Only seen 3 wide a couple of times, and that's for shuffling cars out of line. But Mason Kane trying to do that from the outside of the track.
And to Harold's point as well, I want to touch on that real quick before we wrap that up. I don't think we've had a season where all 3 cars are just so vastly different, right? I mean, if you have somebody driving in the Cup Series on Monday night, the Truck Series on Tuesday nights, and this series on Thursday nights, there's going to be no carryover between those 3 cars and how they handle at every track. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this entire year plays out.
Yeah, and one thing I was going to point out too, Monday night, the Cup cars, they are asymmetrical, so they're lined up correctly on both sides. And the bumper is curved on the back of those cars, so it makes pushing really difficult as we start to see Mason Kane make it 3 wide for the lead. 2 rows of 3 wide up here. Elwood, Fambro, and Kane.
And how about Mason Kane getting help from series champion Cameron Hearn up there in the 67? If you had to let me pick who was probably the 2 most aggressive drivers in this field tonight, it would have probably been the 32 and the 67. They're showing you why already.
Yeah, well, Jake and I, we both know Mason Kane, really aggressive racing through the Xbox leagues, and now making his way up through iRacing.
Oh, he's been on iRacing for a long time too, though, Hunter. Don't discredit that. I mean, he's been on iRacing for about 6-7 years now, and raced in a couple leagues that we used to run in as well. And a few of these drivers may know him from there, so it's cool to see him back here, back up front as well, trying to make it up front, I should say, at least.
Yeah, dipping his toes in the area league now. He's still trying to get that third lane going with Cameron Hearn pushing him. The middle lane, you got Colin Fambro and squirrely indeed, the 32 of Mason Kane. As he's trying to get that third lane going, just not going to work just yet. That bottom lane is the most intact out of all of them, though. It's Elwood leading the way with Therian right behind, and then you mentioned it, Jake, the 24 of Zack Swissgood.
Yeah, Swissgood's looking like he's going to have a strong run here tonight in the number 24. So I'm excited to see how his race is going to play out.
Almost looking like a 3-car breakaway that could move up if they choose to do so. Fambro still leading the outside line now with another pusher, and that is the 32 of Mason Kane shuffled in a line right behind him.
That third line will run, but the third line got to have more than 2 cars in it. Yeah, so that's what between him and her, they need more than just 2.
Contact! There goes Ed Robertson, nearly spinning it in the grass. He saved it. An unbelievable job by Ed Robertson keeping that car straight and not bringing out a caution. Gave us quite a scare because it happened in the front of the pack. But fortunately, like I said, he saved that car. Great job driving by him. Really spread out the pack. There you see he is all the way on the far right of your screen. Saved that car. He's outside the top 10 now. Currently 12th, but once again, amazing save from Ed Robertson. Keeping this thing green flag racing so far.
So it's really going to spread out this pack and make it even more of a single file train up front and in the back. I mean, they were already really running single file towards the back, but now it's really going to separate things, and they're going to have to work together to try to catch back up.
That's not going to stop Mason Kane from trying to get something going. Just before falling back in line there, going to be 7th. So 7-car pack up here after that little skirmish with Ed Robertson, Alan Elwood, Shane Therian, 24 of Zack Swissgood, Cameron Hearn, Adam Capps, Mason Kane. Oh, I skipped over the 54 of Colin Fambro. He's also in this pack up here.
One of the issues I'm seeing is the first car that's leading that second pack, Travis Beckner in the 28, he's actually got some rear end damage on that machine, and that's definitely going to hurt the speed of his car. And as him being the leader of that pack, it's actually going to affect the entire pack. So Travis Beckner, you see they're trying to work around him now. Definitely can still contend with the draft, but he won't be able to lead the pack essentially back up to the front 7. So curious to see how they work around that. You see Rick Christensen back there going up high. He's getting a heck of a push from Ed Robertson in the 64, and it looks like they're actually going to be able to clear Beckner.
Oh, they're spinning up front. Caution, crash in the middle of 1 and 2. 1 car spun.
No Caps.
It looked to be Adam Capps. It was Cameron Hearn, Adam Capps, and Mason Kane. All 3 were trying to gather up momentum and make a run on the outside. And you see he just lost it on his own right there. Just lost it and then got a little tap from Mason Kane. That could have been really bad.
What are the odds you get a single car solo spin at Daytona, Hunter? I don't think that ever has happened in our leagues, at least. I mean, if you see 1 car spinning, especially like you said at the front of the field, you're at least collecting 3 or 4 drivers. Luckily, though, for everybody else, it's only going to be Adam Capps who goes around. And honestly, no harm done to that race car either.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really even spin the car out. He got it sideways, but he never got it completely spun around, kind of like what we saw with Ed Robertson. So 2 close calls there within a handful of laps, one of which bringing out the caution, and that does fall on Adam Capps in the 55. Bringing out our first yellow of the night here on lap 19.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Up there, series director Brad Slaughter is going to take a look at everything, see if there needs to be any additional penalties handed out, stuff like that. For anybody new tuning in, this is the Lodgebox Series season opener in our area. A couple rule updates for you guys. These guys are going to have 3 sets of tires in the pits that they can use all race long. So they have the set they started on and then 3 additional sets waiting down there on pit road. 100% fuel. So I think our fuel window, Hunter, is probably close to 40 laps we're thinking maybe these guys can stretch it on.
Yeah, looking at 38 to 43 laps, kind of like what we saw with the Cup Series last night. These guys aren't going to have to make 2 pit stops, though, for sure, for fuel. Fuel will be an issue here. Tires, not so much, but we could see a set or so being used by some of the drivers here tonight. Or we could see someone go all the way on one set of tires.
Generally, if you're going to pack it full of fuel, you'll take 2 tires. At least that's the crew chief and me would do that. We'll switch out here the outside tires and then the insides on the next one, or vice versa. We'll see what these guys do here.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised to see no tires, like we were kind of talking about earlier too. We could see a 4-tire stop. We could see no tire stop. Looks like the 49 at Elwood. I don't see any tires going on that car. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. He's got some tires going on there.
Yeah.
4 tire stops there on a lot of these guys, it looks like, and Elwood's going to lead them off the pit road.
Yeah. Interesting. I would not have thought a 4-tire stop would be used.
I don't think Jacob
caution.
Hudson took any tires. I think he just did fuel only.
No, he didn't. He did not hit the box. Hudson never made the box.
I think the reason in there, Harold, on the 4-tire stops for these guys is, the caution flag being out, they can come down on pit road right now, put those 4 tires on, and not have to worry about losing any time. Now, under green flag, I think you might be right on the money, though. When they pit under green, they might be taking no tires or 2.
Well, speaking of driver losing time, I do see Mason Kane is a lap down. Not sure if he's taking probably some optional repairs. Yeah, could be optional, could be mandatory, but making repairs to the number 32 car was inside the top 10. Although still very early on, still have 75 laps or so left in this race, so plenty of time for him to come back up through the field.
Yeah, he actually hit pit road as soon as the caution came out. He was the one who collected Adam Capps there in the number 55. The car doesn't look too bad at all, honestly, so I'm not sure why he's been sitting on pit road for so long. Maybe he's thinking about packing things up and calling it for tonight, but he definitely is 1 lap down, and he's at risk for going 2 laps down now as the field is starting to catch him coming back around the second time.
Yeah, Jacob Hudson maybe wanted to lead a lap there, or will he even get the lap led?
He won't
even lead a lap.
No.
He might have just, like you said, Harold, he might have just completely missed his pit box.
Yeah, because he had never made the box.
It looks like the field is doubling up here before we head back green. Coverage of tonight's Area 250 here for the Lodgebox Series is brought to you by Elite Entertainment. We would like to thank Elite Entertainment for their support of the new Elite Entertainment Cup Series, and from all of us here at Area. Be sure to check out Elite Entertainment on Facebook and book them to DJ your next event.
Right on there, Hunter. Got to give a big shout out to Elite Entertainment, like you said. Booking your next event. They're sponsoring our Cup Series. And got some DJs. Got a lot of cool stuff they can do, so definitely check them out on Facebook. Getting set to restart here, though, Hunter. Up front, Alan Elwood. We saw him and Shane Theron really lead the entire part of this race up to this point. And they're going to restart on the front row together.
Yep, teammates on the front row, and then Colin Fambro going to restart third on the inside. Ed Robertson, who had that great save about 5 laps or so ago, going to restart fourth on the outside with the 24 of Zack Swissgood. Probably, once again, the best name in the field. Going to restart in the 5th spot. Jake already seems like he's impressed you so far.
Yeah, he has. He's done a good job of holding his line, getting up there in the pack, trying to get as close to the front as you can, because traditionally that's the safe spot, or the safest spot, I should say, at Daytona, is if you're out front. But, I mean, we just saw that last caution come out within that top 10, so you never really know.
Yeah.
Pace car going to make the hard left turn on the pit road once again. We'll see the green flag fly once more here at Daytona. 74 laps to go.
Had one driver, the number 12 of Kyle Smith, disconnected from the service based on connection issues.
And we still see Mason Kane on pit road as well.
Yeah, it sounded like it's some mechanical issues with the computer there for the 32 of Mason Kane, so tough break for him, but multiple laps down right now at this point.
Now we see everyone migrate down to the bottom. Got to go back to around 5th or 6th to see Cameron Hearn on the outside trying to make something work.
Got to build up that speed on that initial lap before you start, pushing 2, 3. Because, the first lap's all trying to get the car up to speed. Takes that entire lap. Jake, Is pretty much the same thing with all the cars?
Yeah, I would say at least that first lap really to get it really wound up. But really the trend I'm noticing is a bunch of cars lined up on the single file line from first all the way to 30th. You only have a few guys on the outside, maybe 4 cars in total running the outside of the track. Everybody else down low against the yellow line.
Yeah, one of those guys that's down low, got to give a shout out to Ed Morris Sr. He's all the way inside the top 10. First race in the area, and it's good to see Ed back and having a good run so far.
Cameron Hearn trying to slingshot maneuver back about 5th into the second line.
Yeah, it looks like he and Rick Christensen are trying to get that outside lane going, but really can't get anyone up front to move up with them or anyone from behind.
Definitely interesting to see just how well the teams have done of grouping themselves together. You see out front, it's the Elwood Designs cars for the most part. You got them 1-2 with Elwood and Theron. And then looking at the further part of the pack, you got the Bell Weishart Esports cars. You got Grant, Scioli, Carter Coop, Bryce Senesac, Ryan Swan in that mix as well. They're all lined up together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's pretty interesting to see how these teams have just done such a good job of making sure to stick with their teammates.
Also looking down here in the chat, Harold, and you were right about Jacob Hudson. He confirmed that he did indeed miss his pit box.
Yep.
That's the reason he came out the leader.
Timing of scoring is a great thing to use. Yeah, it's like no box time kind of means you missed the box.
Looks like Ryan Swan is going to start to get the outside working further back in the pack. Bryce Senesac, the 09, is going to give him a shot, and they're going to look to go around the outside there. A few other cars migrating towards the top side of the track as well. I see Christian Martinez, that white number 10 up high. He's got some front-end damage on that car, though, as everybody else behind him is trying to follow and catch his draft and suck right back up to him and get themselves inside the top 20.
Still see one car trying to use that outside line, and now it looks like it's the 15 of Harden there trying to get something going, but can't quite do it.
Just decided to fall back in line when he found a spot. They're ticking away on the laps here at 26 here. But Jake, am I the only one concerned? Are these cars that good on the bottom line that the middle and high groove is not working? Because usually at Daytona, the higher you go, the faster you go.
I think, I think we're starting to see, it looks like we had something break out in the middle of the pack there. You got one car slow. Might have went for a slide there through 3 and 4. It's the 4, I believe, there of Dustin Carroll, way off pace, starting to corral it and get back up to speed. Something broke out there in the middle of the pack. Saw a puff of smoke. Not exactly sure what happened there. I'm going to try to see if I can find out, as he went way off pace. Looks like he hit the apron, actually. Got a little loose, went down into the apron, did a heck of a job saving it.
Boy, that just goes to show how tough these Xfinity cars are to handle.
Yeah, I've honestly been noticing quite a bit tonight, Hunter, that these guys are way more freer than even I expected. I had a heads up about it coming into this race just from practicing these cars, that something's changed in the setup that's made them more free. But, I mean, that's the second time tonight already we've seen somebody just absolutely lose control of their race car on their own.
Here comes Ricky Harden now on the outside with the number 4 of Andrew Santo, trying to get that outside line rolling, and he's currently side by side for that 3rd spot between he and Colin Fambro. So finally, Kane, it looks like a momentum swing. Oh,
as I say, Mason Kane looks like he is dropped from contention. So,
yeah, computer issues there for Mason Kane. So 2 drivers retiring from the race.
Oh, we got one on the apron. It's another guy that's gotten loose and hit the apron. He's still saving again. It's the 64 sliding, and he is able to corral it.
That's the second time tonight he got loose and saved his car.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to follow the Elwood Designs cars on the inside there and followed them right down to the yellow stripe, hit it, upset the handling of that race car, and had to do a heck of a job trying to hang on to it. And he did it, by the way. He's still in this pack all the way at the tail end, though, back outside the top 25 now.
Yeah, the new Daytona, though, the yellow line is like grease. You don't want to be on that thing.
And that save that Robertson made has shuffled this pack to just a 7-car breakaway, although now the 24 of Swissgood and Davey Hendricks are working together to get back up to the front with this pack.
Man, watching that 6 there of Andrew Santo, he just got a heck of a push from Cameron Hearn down the back straightaway, and he could barely hold on to it by the time he got down into turn 3. I'm starting to get a little concerned, Hunter. We've seen the handling going away on these cars the last few laps, and it's looking like we might be in for some trouble here in quick order.
Yeah, really surprised at how loose these cars are. I mean, saw a month ago at Daytona in the real-life Xfinity Series how loose these cars would get, but even tonight, these cars just seem to be driving out of their mind.
Yeah,
one in the wall. One just slammed the wall back there. Can't tell which car that was. They're wrecking off of 2.
Hard into the wreck. We got the 4 of Dustin Carroll. One car, Jacob Hudson, hit the wall hard on the inside.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who that was. It just smacked
Ryan
the wall
Swan.
coming out of turn 2. Oh, it was Ryan Swan.
And he has taken out a bunch of drivers.
We'll take a look at our one-to-go replay here to show you exactly what occurred down the backstretch just a moment ago.
It triggered with the aid of Ryan Swan. If you want to catch up to him there, Harold, right there, the BlairRaces.com Chevy. It's a weird-looking one. I won't lie to you there, Hunter.
Ryan Swan running the throwback scheme, number 8. His pit sign is actually Dale Sr., really going all out with the throwback.
Look what happens here, though. I mean, he's just running on the bottom. Car gets away from him a little bit. He chases up the track, puts it in the wall, and then puts it back into the wall and across the track. I mean, that's just...
Oh,
I don't even know what to say there. And you see more cars getting collected.
I mean, I highly doubt it was a flat tire. I know these can happen on iRacing, but
no, it definitely was not
that
a
looked
flat.
like it was something with the steering wheel on his setup.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's maybe even a PC issue, perhaps, but I mean, just putting it right into the wall and coming back across the track. I don't know. We've seen some weird stuff already tonight, and it's still early on.
That is a shame to see him because there were cars spinning below the yellow line. It did not trigger a caution by iRacing, so we are still green flag racing here at Daytona, lap 32 and 95.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the things we didn't get to see there on the replay was Jacob Hudson, the 22. He hit the inside wall pretty hard there as a result of all the action that was going on. He's pretty much done for the night.
Back up front, though, seems like this pack is sort of grouped up once again, although still a side-by-side battle. And now Santo actually in the 3-wide situation now. He's got Cameron Hearn to his inside. He shuffled just a little bit to the outside, and the 67 took advantage of that and made his move. And now he's actually going to try and get past the 15 of Ricky Harden.
Cameron Hearn's very, very aggressive so far in this race, but it's been working. He's up front now, trying to push that number 15 of Ricky Harden around the track.
Yeah, now we see the first 3 cars are clear to move up if they choose to do so. We have seen that happen in the Cup Series, but haven't seen that happen yet in the Xfinity Series where one car can go up and block. But now we see the 15 of Ricky Harden with another charge to the outside now with Cameron Hearn behind him, and then the number 6 of Andrew Santo right behind him as well.
Heads up, I believe we're still on replay here, Harold, because they are 3 wide right now into turn 1 and almost wrecking with Andrew Santo and the 67 of Cameron Hearn. That was sketchy.
Yeah, now we are all caught up. Now we see single file action here for first 4 or 5 cars, with Elwood leading the way, followed by Therian, Fambro, Swissgood, and Santo in the top 5.
Yeah, the only thing about going to a replay while we're in green flag conditions, got to remember to push live.
Well, I was just as confused. I wasn't sure what I was seeing. If I was looking live, I had something else on my screen. I wasn't sure what was going on, but it looks like Cameron Hearn not going to make another run to the top. He's going to try to push the 0-2 of Eli Green now up there after a little bit of contact a lap ago with Andrew Santo. The 67's found a new drafting partner in the 0-2.
We'll see if anyone from that bottom can make a charge up front and say, hey, maybe this outside lane is a lane for me. Although we're not seeing it just yet, but that outside lane is coming.
Yeah, and Rick Christensen in the 19, you can throw him in that mix as well. That's the third car in line on the top. First time we've seen him tonight. He's running up front in that number 19 for the first time inside the top 10, trying to help that line generate some forward momentum.
Yeah, only 3 cars on that outside line, but it really is moving.
When you got somebody pushing like that 67's doing right now to that 0-2, that's the reason that they're able to generate so much momentum and take the lead by the time they get down at the turn 1.
Yeah, now we're starting to see more cars on the outside line, just a bit behind, slowly make their way up to the front.
How about that onboard shot with the 49 there of Alan Elware? That 38 all over his back bumper.
Elwood leading the way. Now we move up to the outside lane, being led by Eli Green in the 0-2.
Is starting to form back up a lot better now, Hunter, where we got a lot more cars jumping up high, a lot more cars starting to file back in line.
Yeah, now we're starting to see. I'm starting to see the 64 of Ed Robertson make his way back up to the front for the third time. That car is as loose as can be, and now we see just a little move up there from the front 2 or 3, making way for a lap car. Not wanting to be involved in that. Front 3 are single file. That outside lane starting to fade just a bit. But still there trying to make up ground, being led by Eli Green in the 0-2.
Yeah, we're back up to 25 cars now in this lead pack. So the back end, it got a little separated. They had to work together, push each other back up to this lead pack, and they were able to do it. And now we see a big pack with a lot of 2-wide racing at the front.
Oh, a lot of shuffling around now we're starting to see with the 67 of Hearn. Some cars making dive bombs to the bottom of the track.
Yeah, that was the 10 of Christian Martinez there, charging down to the bottom line, and he's trying to hold on to that machine as well. Not sure how much is.
Yeah, he is. that car seems like being possessed by a demon.
Yeah, not sure how much the competitors. I think it was Ricky Harden there in the 15 who got his front end chopped off there from the 10. I don't know how much he enjoyed that move, and then watching the number 10 run in front of him, hit the apron a couple times. Lights are starting to turn on here at Daytona as the sun sets, though, here on lap 39.
Yep, transition into the nighttime where we will see the checkered flag fly. Now we start to see some blinking there from the 6 of Andrew Santo. Oh, and that was the 24 of Swissgood that got really loose and saving it. We see the 10 of Martinez loose again as well. Boy, that number 10 car is like wrecking loose.
Yeah, he is.
And then there's wrecking loose, and that's what the 10 car is looking like right now.
Well, like the back end of a roller coaster.
Yeah. He's just following the train.
He's that rat tail flipping around back there.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been a part of those many times. It is not that fun. It's more fun up front, like Alan Elwood up here having a time of his life.
Yeah, it's starting
to teammate Shane Therian.
It's starting to make a lot more sense why these guys are wanting to be up front so bad and pushing so hard. It's because you want to be in front of that whole mess that's going on right outside the top 5. Another lap car here coming up. Looks like the 8 of Ryan Swan after that early contact with the wall. Did get confirmation that it was a computer issue, mechanical issue that led to the to him hitting the wall initially. So tough break there for the number 8. Took out a bunch of other drivers as well with that mess.
Now we're starting to see the opposite. That outside lane seems to be more grouped up, and that bottom is just pushing more and more better.
Yeah, a lot more cars on the top right now, too. I mean, all the way back to Ricky Harden there in 14th. It's a big line of cars that's trying to work in the high side. I'm curious to see what race leader Alan Elwood does with that charge coming from the top. If him and the 38 decide to move up there, we'd have a ton of cars running the top side of this racetrack.
We'll see them
Guess we're
rolling
watching
through.
the digger cam.
We'll see them rolling through right here.
Mislabeled it. Says Digger Cam 1 is in turn 1, but it looked like it was outside of turn 2. So that's why a little bit behind, waiting for the cars to come by.
And inside line now starting to generate some momentum back forward. Alan Elwood, Shane Theron, Colin Fambro, and Zack Swissgood. Those 4 drivers have been hooked up on the bottom pretty much since the restart of this race.
Yeah, they're still going strong, and this is only going to help them for late in the race in case they need to get a charge on that bottom or on the outside. Who knows? But this is going to help late in the race for that team chemistry. Now we see Eli Green move down to the bottom. So now Cameron Hearn has the outside lane all to himself now, with the 19 of Rick Christensen to push him from behind.
Gotta have potential of some pit stops here coming up in a few laps. These drivers came down there on lap number 18. So in about 10 laps or so, we could see these guys coming down for pit stop number 2. Probably want to make it, try to stretch it at least to lap number 40, or excuse me, to lap number 55, because from there they should be able to make it the rest of the way.
Right on, Jake.
It was a have a little bit of technical issues everywhere. It's following everybody. So
Yeah,
Jake just told me that he
have,
lagged out, so that's why we were hearing the robot of Jacob Bell. So
yeah, Jake dealing with internet connection issues. On his own.
there he is. He's
Here.
back. He's back.
It's just a little choppy on his end. So we got that going on. Then Harold and I are trying to stay alive from a potential tornado that could be hitting either one of our areas.
I was here. I didn't lag out all the way. I guess it started chopping up.
It's still kind of getting out on your audio there, Jake. But Hunter and I are in the middle of the high winds that are coming out from Florida, heading its way to New York City. So but it happens. So we'll just work the best we can and move it on. It's been a weird week. I think at Hunter, the whole idea is, we've had 3 weeks off, and it was just too much, man. Too much dust settling.
Had about a month off. Yeah, gotta blow the dust off and clear the space. We'll once again try to get Jacob Bell back in as soon as possible. Another lap car there. Whoa, and he just turned Fambro! The lap car caused the big one in the middle of 3 and 4. The caution's going to come out. An unbelievable crash has taken place in the middle of 3 and 4. With the lap car on the apron, clipping the 54 of Colin Fambro and setting off a massive accident. That's our second caution of the race, and boy, oh boy, was it a big one. And earlier on in the race, we did see the first 3 cars on that bottom lane move up just a tad bit because they did not want to be involved with the lap car that was looking like it was a little too close to the apron. And then that last time by, we saw way too close to the racing lane. So we'll get our one to go replay here to show you exactly what caused that wreck and what that lap car was doing, because I'm honestly quite appalled by that.
Yeah, it looked like he caught the apron. So like you're gonna keep an eye on.
Was it the 12?
Yeah, I believe it was the 12.
Might have been the 12 of Kyle Smith. Kyle Smith is running 28.
Watch that car, the number 54. And that is the 12. As he basically loses it coming off the apron. Yeah, he was trying to get up to speed and basically caused the big one.
Yeah, a number of drivers involved behind this. I mean, unbelievable accident that's taken place here at Daytona.
That was Kyle Smith, and he was many laps down, 13 laps at the time.
See, we get another look here at just the amount of destruction that was caused in 3 and 4. But yeah, Kyle Smith in the 12th there with a very questionable move on the apron. You know, I get that you're multiple laps down, you're trying to get back up to pace and as quick as you can, but you're in the middle of apron, you see the leaders. My first thing would be to stay as far away from the racing lane as possible, and for some reason, that car got loose on the apron and washed up into the racetrack.
Yeah, and race control has disqualified the number 12.
Yeah, unreal. Cannot have that at all.
Yeah, when you in the way the Daytona apron is set up, if you take it too fast, you will come up to that off that edge of the apron onto the yellow line. That actually will cause a black flag, but you know it also affected the drivers that were on the racing surface.
I don't even know, guys.
Heard you a little better that time, Jake, but we just watched the number 12 coming out of the pit lane and entering onto the racing surface off. It looked like he slid off the apron.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm good or not. Let me know.
Oh no, you're good. You sound better now.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, that's probably one of the craziest things I've seen. I mean, it looked like what he on. I mean, in good faith, I do believe he tried to pull off the racetrack, let these guys by. Just was carrying way too much speed, slid right back up into the pack. But one of the craziest things we have definitely seen here, that's for sure. There's going to be a lot of people not happy with that at all.
No, they have every right to not be happy at all. So
I mean, you expect the big one at Daytona, right?
Yeah.
So getting taken out in the big one, not an issue. But when it's something like that, it's definitely a tough break. But I will say, as bad as it looked, Hunter, I do believe there were some cars towards the back end of that pack that would slow up and avoid all that chaos. So they might be okay. We still might have a decent amount of cars left that aren't damaged, but definitely, I mean, that was just a huge crash. It's going to take out a bunch of heavy hitters.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of unhappy drivers in the admin hauler after this one is over with. So we're about to complete lap 49 here on this lap. So we got we're a little past halfway here in the area 250 for the Lodgebox series after a massive crash in turn 3, bringing out our second caution of the race. We're gonna get them back going here this time by with the two drivers that avoided the wreck up front, Shane Therian and Alan Elwood, going to restart first and second. And then, once again, Ed Morris Sr. up to third after that incident has taken place. Looks like we got Richard Thomas in fourth. And then rounding out the top 5 going to be Andrew Santo. And then AJ Roderick, Zack Swissgood, Christopher Buds, Kyle Knapp. And then the number... Well, my ticker froze, but... a lot of names up inside the top 10 that we have not talked about in the first half of this race that we'll be talking about for the second half of the race.
Yeah, it's gonna make for an interesting finish, that's for sure.
Yep, pace car comes down pit road once again. It's going to be Elwood on the bottom with teammate Shane Therian leading the field back to green at Daytona.
So, okay, I'm just confused. Which of the two drivers was actually the leader?
It was Therian.
Okay, because I was like, that was if it was Elwood, Theron got the jump. So okay, we're good.
And that's their teammate Richard Thomas right behind him. Like I said, I don't think we've talked about him all race long, and all of a sudden he's up inside the top 5 running third. So we got Elwood Design drivers running 1, 2, 3. As these drivers come down to complete lap 50 of tonight's Lodgebox Series race at Daytona, we want to give a big thanks to Swift Lifestyles for their continuous support of Area this season. And race fans, you can use their code on the screen, Area iRacing, AREA iRacing, for 15% off any order on their website. We will once again like to give a big thanks to Swift Lifestyles for their continuous support of all 3 series this season in Area. We'll go ahead and give our halfway rundown because that kind of ran under the caution, kind of like Monday night. So Shane Therian of Elwood Design Esports, as we mentioned, he's been one of the faster cars all night long. It's either him or his teammate Alan Elwood behind him, both leading the way. They both have dominant cars, but it's Therian currently leading at the moment. And once we talked about Alan Elwood in the 49 right behind him, he's actually led the most laps tonight at 39. He does have the opportunity to lead the most laps. So looking like it's going to be either one of the top 2 for the moment that could potentially win, but you never know. Anything can happen at Daytona. Richard Thomas, driver we haven't talked about, teammate of the front 2. Another Elwood Design driver. Running third. Like I said, I haven't talked about him all night, but the Atlantic City native. Looking to stay inside the top 5 and who knows, maybe have a shot at winning the race. Ed Morris Sr. currently running 4th in his first race in Area. Haven't seen him since the late model series, and he was inside the top 10 earlier in the race, but after that big accident in turn 3, he finds himself inside the top 5, having a solid run. And then Andrew Santo in the number 6 car, supporting Ukraine there on the hood, the doors, and the roof.
Interesting. The flag's upside down on the door.
Well, yep, the flag is upside down on the door, but nonetheless still showing his support, regardless of if it's right side up or upside down. But he's running inside the top 5. He was trying to get that outside lane to go with Cameron Hearn and Colin Fambro earlier on. And then here is the other Elwood Design driver. Looks like that's AJ. Oh, actually, excuse me. He is not part of Elwood Design.
But he's running one of their paints.
He is running one of their paints. Like Jake mentioned, a lot of these paints here are Elwood Designs. But AJ Rotary, another driver we haven't really talked about. He's running inside the top 10 right now in the 6th spot. And another driver right behind him who we have talked about quite a bit and has really impressed Jacob Bell so far is Zack Swissgood, making his debut in Area. And he's currently running inside the top 10, running 7th. But he's been inside here for the majority of the race. Looking to continue his good run. As we see the number 94 of Davey Hendricks, he was up front. Once again, supporting another. He is one of the Elwood guys. Okay, so he is the furthest of the Elwood guys, but nonetheless, that shows just how fast they are tonight. So he's currently running 8th, and then right behind him, Bryce Senesank of Bell Weishart Esports, the new team formed by David Weishart and Jacob Bell. Currently running 9th. We really haven't talked about him all night, but he does have experience of running up front in these races. And last but not least, inside our top 10, it's Cameron Hearn. Cameron Hearn has been one of the few drivers to try and get that outside lane to roll. And for the moment, he finds himself 10th, but I wouldn't count him out just yet. He is the defending series champ after all. At the end of the day, he does know how to get it done. And that is your halfway rundown, presented by Swift Lifestyles.
We actually got one in.
Yeah. Oddly enough, both nights this week that I'm on the call, there was a wreck around or right at the halfway rundown. Always seems to happen. So right now we single file, a bit of side-by-side action, trying to get that second lane rolling on the top. I think I'm back.
Yes. You're here.
My headphones disconnected for some reason. Don't know why. It didn't even come out of the computer.
Oh wow. Okay.
There is wacky stuff
Wackadoodle
happening
stuff, yep.
all over the place tonight for all
on the
three
track
of us.
too.
Everywhere. So I saw what was going on in admin, and they're saying that one of the drivers requested that the 12 go down to the apron to avoid the leaders coming up, and that's what happened, huh, Jake?
Yeah. I mean, my takeaway, like I said, I'm not at all the admin. This is up to Brad Slaughter. I think what I've been hearing though is like you said, one of the drivers in the front pack, maybe a little extra worried about the lap cars for some reason, told him, hey, go down to the apron when there's plenty of room to stay up high and easily be lapped. And I think he tried to, listen and help the leaders out and do what they wanted. And by going to the apron, he just miscalculated the speed, misjudged it, and slid right back up onto the track because of that. So, definitely just a tough deal there.
You can't really be at speed. Can't be
I
at
don't think
speed on
can
the
be
apron.
put on the 12. I don't.
Yeah.
Exactly, right.
You can't be at speed
he
on
was
the
slowed
apron.
down. I just think he was slowing down. I just think he wasn't slowing down as much as he should have, obviously. So he slid back up. Just tough deal there. But I mean, going and look, it's a Class A driver. It's almost a 2,500 I rating guy. So not someone you would expect to make that kind of mistake, which is really what thrown me off the most. But hey, mistakes do happen, and you live and you learn.
Yeah, he said etiquette seems to be at super speedways to get all the way up high along that outside wall and let them go down below you is usually the etiquette because, going down on the apron, it works on the backstretch, but nowhere else. Because you'll lose so much speed and, you're still racing yourself, but, we'll see.
We'll see. Laps left here too to decide this, and a lot of interesting drivers in the top 10 just sprinkled all throughout this front pack. You got the number 38 and the 49 who have just been leading this thing from the drop of the green flag, teammate behind him and Richard Thomas. Then how about Ed Moore Sr. and Andrew Santo rounding out the top 5? So just really, really interested guys up front. Might have a new first-time winner, something we haven't seen so far this week.
Yeah, who knows? We could very well see that.
Working down the stripe here, lap 60 now, getting ready to go up onto the board. 36 laps to go. I don't think that last caution came out well enough within the fuel window, so a lot of these guys still have at least one more pit stop left to make to come down and fill that car up with fuel to make sure that they are good the rest of the way on fuel. So anticipate that coming anytime within the next 15, 20 laps or so. I'm sure a lot of these guys would prefer caution come out so they can hit pit road under yellow versus having to do so under green, but we're gonna have to wait.
It'd be interesting to see. We had green flag pit stops Tuesday night with the Truck Series, not so much with the Cup Series. But I would think, Jake, it would be almost maybe a half a can and no tires on on the stop.
Yeah, they're not going to need much fuel, that's for sure. The caution kind of helped them in regards of the length of pit stop they'll need. So I expect, like you said, like a half a can, no tires, just really quick on and off a pit road, try to lose as little as time as possible if they have to do it under green. But like I said, I know a lot of these guys really would prefer not to have to do that, but we haven't seen a green flag pit stop yet, so.
We could be in store for one here.
Well, each night we had to go to green-white checkers on both Monday night and Tuesday night.
Could see.
And I believe Tuesday night, the Truck Series was the first race ever in area that finished under caution.
We've had a few.
I don't think we've had them finish under caution. We've gone green-white checker before.
The ARCA series finished under caution.
Did they? Okay.
The ARCA series, but yeah, we have had a few caution.
The robot has returned for Jacob Bell.
Yeah.
In races.
Boy, what a wacky night it's been.
You know, it's been. I don't feel so bad. This week's been really taxing on my system. Knocking on a whole lot of wood right now. I am in the cockpit of my machine, where we're actually looking pretty good today. So.
ARCA 2, yep. Daytona.
Oh, he's still going.
The ARCA
Yeah.
series did, and also Gateway in the ARCA series. 2 finishes last season under caution.
Ah.
Jacob Bell is back. I'm not sure. We still have over 30 laps left, so I mean, like I said, anything can happen here. We continue to watch the battle up here. Well, not really much of a battle, it's just single file racing, but really not seeing that second lane being formed at all. Oh, and now we'll see if we can regroup with Jacob Bell here.
Yep, 38 to 49 in the 1, just continuing to put laps down.
Looks like the 5th place car there is Santo, still blinking in and out.
He has a little bit of damage on the front end of that machine. As we were going through the field, I could see not a lot, but enough to crumple up that front. So he's going to have probably better pushing than being out in front.
He was a part of that wreck that happened over there in turn 3.
You guys are single file all the way, all the way back to 17th. You see Ryan Swan up there all the way up in the high groove. Traditionally where the lappers will go when the leaders come by here in Daytona. They're all coming down pit lane.
Green
Here we
flag
go.
pit stops. Well, half chose to come down, half chose to stay out. And it looked like one of them didn't know what to do, and they just decided to go low on the apron.
So is it Elwood Designs plus Cameron Hearn? Kind of nice to see the same hood, so I know I can easily identify that. Like,
that gives the lead to Ed Morris Sr. I believe he led that lap.
yes,
He did.
he did.
First race in area, first lap led. Solid night for Ed Morris Sr.
Santo flirting with that yellow line. And I say it's like grease. You hit that thing and that your left sides just want to roll around. It's crazy how easy it is to slide that car around just by barely touching those yellow lines. I know in the open wheel Indy Delara car, you touch one part of that thing and you're going to send yourself flying around. Very treacherous.
There's a handful of drivers that came down pit road that last time by. Looked like we had about 5 or so stay out.
4 have stayed out.
4 have
Morris
stayed
Sr.,
out. Okay.
Santos, Swissgood, and Kyle Knapp. So the front 3
So
here
those
plus
4
1.
Those 4 have yet to pit.
And here they come
And
now.
here we go. We'll be seeing the back two, Santo and Swissgood come down pit road. And Morse is going to continue to lead laps.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Because now you're out there off cycle by yourself. Daytona's not the time that you want to be a lone guy. You don't want to be a lone wolf here. That's Mr. Scioli here in the 7 being passed by Ed Morris. So about 27 laps remaining. And here comes Ed Morris Sr. now, pitting by himself.
Nearly spinning out coming down pit road, but like we said, this is his first race in area.
Yep.
So there will be some growing pains just trying to get used to that. Coming in as an open driver, there's a handful of open drivers in this race, but especially being a new driver to the series, and then to the league, that's a whole nother aspect of it. So something that we'll see Ned Morris hopefully as he continues to drive this season in the Lodgebox series. But now we see the 27 of Kyle Knapp in the lead.
Yeah, he's still out. He's the only person that has not. There's a few others that have not. Ed Robertson, Rick Christensen, Travis Beckner, Adam Capps, Fred Sample, that have been out there for quite some time. But all the contending drivers have come down pit lane 3 laps ago.
We see Knapp go to the outside, so he will not come down pit road this time by. See how long he can go on fuel, because he is looking at he's got a good bit. I doubt he's thinking about stretching this all the way, because at some point the pack will catch him. It's all a matter of when and where he will choose to pit. But now the fortunate thing for him is that he's got a pack of cars behind him to push him, but it's not really helping him save fuel if that is the goal for him. But at least he's not running on his own. As that's actually Carter Coop right behind him, the number 52 running in the 18th spot. The first car 1 lap down. So really all these guys behind are going to be looking to
Hitting
get
this
their
lap.
lap back,
Hitting
and
this
they
lap.
will. So with Kyle Knapp coming down pit road, that's going to cycle the lead over to Shane Therian. This group of 6 right here consists of Alan Elwood, Cameron Hearn, Davey Hendricks, Richard Thomas, and AJ Rotary.
Yeah, it's all the Elwood design cars except for Cameron Hearn. Like I said, going below the yellow line to get out of the way on the backstretch, not a problem. Pretty able to keep your speed and all. Going under the apron in the corner is going to do exactly what we saw happen with the 12. You're going to go down there and you're going to get spit right back out onto the racetrack.
And then you got to go about 5 seconds back to find our next pack of cars. Well, really, it's just a pack of 2 with Bryce Senesac and Garrett Grant, the 09 and the 5, running 7th and 8th. And then got to go to the number 97 of Charles Canada, running in the 9th spot, with the 6 of Andrew Santo, running right behind him in 10th.
I believe these are all 4 of the Elwood design team. And then with the other, the number 1 of Richard Thomas is an affiliate, and the 67 of Cameron Hearn going to sit there and just make sure he's in the middle somewhere. But pretty much a team running away with this thing in the front.
Still over 20 laps left here in the Area 250 for the Lodgebox Series. Their first race this season. We had the Cup Series run Monday night, and we had the Truck Series run Tuesday night. And the Lodgebox Series will run Thursday nights. We see the pack sort of snake their way through the lap traffic in the middle of 1 and 2 there.
You see, definitely not what the leaders want to see. Is that they want to see all those guys at least pick one side. Don't make me have to, slide in between.
We're still working to get Jacob Bell back. We'll see if he can rejoin us here in a moment.
And
still working some things out, but like you mentioned, the lights are on at Daytona.
Yeah,
so this race will finish under the lights.
Yeah, Brad Slaughter is mentioned in the chat there. He's wondering if Cameron Hearn might be missing his old team, since Elwood Designs was the old VRA, which Cameron started the season with last season.
I mean, that could cross his mind at some point, thinking, man, what if I was still on this team? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's happened. Real life racing a good bit, virtual racing a lot. So that thought could be going through his head, could not be. But you gotta remember that once again, he is not a part of VRA or the new Elwood Design esports team. And once it gets down to crunch time, who's gonna help him? I mean, you gotta make a move on your own because the front two are teammates. You gotta make a move for yourself. But the thing is, the two drivers behind Cameron Hearn are also Elwood teammates. So Elwood Design Esports are running 4 of their cars inside the top 5. And the only other car really is AJ Roderick, but he's all the way back in 6th. The gap now to the second group of cars, Senesac and Grant now closing in on 9 seconds. We're now within 20 laps to go here.
As we're starting to wind down here. Leaders have plenty of gas to the end, I'm sure. Just they would have calculated that on to go the distance. Like you said, there's a huge gap, 10 seconds between Bryce Senesac and the race leader.
Yeah, that gap's starting to grow larger and larger. The rest of this field is going to need a caution to come out if they want a chance at possibly winning this race, because with the way things are going, this race will end the way that it's currently going right now. I don't believe these guys will have to come back down pit road for fuel. But we'll have to see. Still a good bit of laps left.
Yep, definitely a bunch left, and they're very spread out. This is probably the most spread out we've seen of any of the races this week.
Couple, though they were spread out, we still had some side-by-side action, but we did not go long enough into the race for green flag pit stops. Man, got that out of the way. Whew. It is not fun having allergies. Not fun one bit. But once again, we are inside of 20 laps to go, which is brought to you by CNC Logging. We would like to thank CNC Logging for their support of the new CNC Logging Truck Series this season in the area. Located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina, CNC Logging is your place to go for any of your logging needs. Got wood? Big or small, summer or fall, we'll cut your log, guaranteed. CNC Logging. So I think we got Jacob Bell back.
It's tremendous. Every time you do that ad read, it's tremendous. But yeah, hopefully back up in here for good this time. Really not even sure what's going on. It's just one of those nights on and off the track.
Everybody's having the same problems, I guess.
I will say this publicly, do want this to be known. This might be one of the worst races I've ever seen with lapped cars. Just, I don't know if we're not aware tonight. Yeah, I mean, we've gotten, like you said, people down on the apron at full speed. We got guys making the leaders split them through the middle. I just don't know what is going on out here tonight. But it's definitely something we're going to have to try to tighten up because it's been borderline ridiculous.
Yeah, leaders should not have to play slalom through traffic.
Yeah. I mean, it was like cutting corners there, trying to make it through the lap traffic for a little bit. And honestly, the worst part is it's not over yet. We still got 15, 16 laps to go, and they're going to get through these lap cars probably about 4 or 5 more times.
Yeah, we mentioned it. Cameron Hearn is kind of on an island of his own because he's got Elwood guys in front of him and behind him. So he's really stuck because if he makes a move, he's got no one to go with him, and he's just going to drop like a rock. So he's really got to stay put where he is. And you can see him swerving down the backstretch. He's getting a little antsy with where he's running.
I can promise you that these guys aren't the aren't just going to ride and let Shane Thier and Alan Elwood win. I know they all are on the same team with Davey Hendricks back there, Richard Thomas, AJ Roderick, but if there's a move that presents themselves with an opportunity to win, I bet you they do end up taking it when it comes down to this thing.
Only trying to win, but how cool would that be to get a 1, 2, 3, 4 finish for your team for the first race of the season?
Yeah, it would definitely be a quite the feat, especially at a race like Daytona, right, where so much is unpredictable, and you just got to try to have a little bit of luck on your side. And to be fair, they did have a little bit of luck on their side when that lap car came up into the pack. It was right behind the 49 and the 38. Couldn't have cut it any closer.
Yeah, I mean, quite literally, the front two were the only two that made it out of that unscathed. I mean, just absolute chaos.
It's been a chaotic race, man, from the drop of the green to the end of this thing. But we still got about 14 laps left here to finish it. And I know right now it seems like it's all 38 and the 49, but I guarantee you, man, if there's an opportunity, I don't know why Davey Hendricks wouldn't try to take it and try to get this win. He won last season at Daytona in the Cup Series. He knows exactly how to get it done.
Only that, but Alan Elwood, he led the most laps of the race. Would imagine he would also like to add a win to that, but with that being the team owner, kind of got to think about the bigger picture as
it's just watching
antsy.
Yeah, I think he's legitimately toying with him to the point where he's trying to make him just lose some focus. He's going to swerve top, he's going to swerve bottom. He's not really doing anything, and he's making them think that he might be doing something at the same time. So he's just playing mind games, which a lot of these guys know. Cameron Hearn, he likes to play a lot of games out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, very easy to let Cameron Hearn get inside your head, and that's one thing these front two and two behind him gotta put into perspective.
Well, it's kind of like they were talking about the COTA race this week. You're here, Tony Stewart, talking about AJ Allmendinger just being in the mirror, of the driver that was in front. Chastain. Ross Chastain's, it just basically being there, just setting your car, going, "Hello, I'm right here. If you make a mistake, I'm going to beat you." It's kind of what I see Cameron Hearn doing right now with the Elwood Design guys. But you mess up, and I will capitalize.
New player in the mix, I don't think we've touched on, is the last car in this low line. Kyle Knapp, the 27, is technically a driver for Infinite Gaming, not a team in this series. He's kind of their lone wolf, but he is hanging on to this lead pack. He's actually the first car one lap down. He could play a little bit of a factor into how this thing finishes out.
Could be. I mean, he could move up with AJ Roderick and try and help him get up to the front and better his finishing position.
I mean, he's definitely doing a great job hanging on there. I mean, like you said, exactly. I think you were about to say if a caution comes out, he's going to be that free pass position, which is a really big opportunity for him to try to hold on to that spot.
Yep, exactly what I was going to say. He's the first car one lap down, and that yellow comes out, he's automatically back in this, just like the rest of the drivers from 7th on back. As soon as that caution comes out, all of them are back in it because it'll stack up the field. Could see it. Then again, we could not see it. This thing could go green to the end. Now, one thing to keep in mind, you can go below the double yellow line, and we saw that Monday night. Cameron Hearn tried to get Brad Slaughter back at the start-finish line, cutting through the grass on the front stretch. So he could try and go below the yellow line and maybe try and pass in the grass here on the last lap if all else fails. He'll try on the outside. No. Wants to get along the outside just enough to side draft him to where he can sort of dismantle that front two. We're now inside 10 laps to go. Car staying to the outside of the race leaders. Cameron still toying with them.
How about the weirdness of this race? I mean, have you seen not a lot of Daytona races where they get this spread out? There's this many lap cars just sprinkled all throughout the track that the leaders have to continuously navigate around. And I mean, like we were just talking about, hasn't been easy. Some of the cars doing a great job keeping it up against the outside wall, watching their relatives, seeing when the leaders are coming. Not the case for everybody else, and it's definitely been making it difficult for these guys. But man, Elwood Designs, like you said, Hunter, running first, second, fourth right now with, or excuse me, third right now with Davey Hendricks, fourth with Richard Thomas back there. Pretty impressive run for these guys, and got to give a shout out to that whole team. You got the Rhino Power straps on the front of those cars, or excuse me, just Rhino USA, the 38 and the 49. See the 94 back there of Davey Hendricks. He's running the High Bakes podcast, so definitely check those guys out. They've been super excited to be a part of Area, and some cool sponsors working with that team.
Keep in mind, we do have less than 10 to go here, but 11th through 14th, we could see the leaders catch this group of cars, and I feel like we could see them tail end to the main pack. Boy, they are really going at it. That's a Morrisina right there. But yeah, we could see these guys getting caught by the main pack and go a lap down. But if that happens, then they could tail onto this pack, and who knows, they could spice up the finish.
Yeah, it's been an interesting, man. It's been an interesting race. I don't know. I hope for this front group's sake that there's no more lap traffic for these final 7 laps here, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
No, I feel like they could catch them. We're seeing here the lap times around the 47-second mark.
It'll be close,
guys.
I mean, at the rate this race has gone, Hunter, we know they're going to catch them, probably catch once as soon as they get to the white flag, just to spice things up. Which, honestly, that could be something that could play into the favor of Cameron Hearn, though, right? If this thing gets a little chaotic, they start spreading out.
Absolutely.
Could help out 67.
Well, we're looking through the last time by the laps. 47.4 for the leaders up front, and then in that pack, starting with Zack Swissgood in 11th, 48.2. So front pack is about 7 car lengths quicker. And with 6 laps to go, it seems like this front pack is going to catch up.
We 5 to go once they hit the stripe here. And I'm looking at the times there. It looks about a half a second faster. I don't think they're within 3 seconds of these guys, though. They're kind of up there a little bit. I don't think they're going to come into play, but 5 to go here.
They do have a couple lap cars individually that they'll probably catch up to here. One of them, Rick Christensen in the 19, the other being Carter Coop in the 52. Other than that, though, I think you might be right there, Harold. I think they might actually be able to easily not have to deal with those guys. That last pack, I should say, before this thing's all said and done. You see Rick Christensen, he's going to pull it down to the apron. Potentially some terrible flashbacks going through these drivers' brains, seeing a car pull low going into turn 3, but no issues that time around.
Now, and I pointed out earlier in the race where we saw the first 3 cars on the bottom move up to that outside just to avoid the lap car running a little too close to that apron just before the wreck in turn 3.
4 to go now. Kyle Knapp in the 27 is going to peak high. The lap car at the tail end of the field here is going to get back in line, though. I think he might be letting it known that he's willing to work with somebody if they want to go with him.
Oh, see some blinking?
And it's Shane Thierian, yeah.
Yeah, calling that first car 1 lap down, possibly signaling to AJ Roderick, hey, if you want to go, I'm there with you. And that could open the door for Cameron Hearn if those two get a big enough run, if they choose to do so.
That'd be a 2 to go. I would see if anybody's going to make the move, that's when they're going to start it. Because you don't want to get out there too early. You want to get out there and make the pass and take the checkered flag all in one swoop. They'll give them an opportunity to pass you back.
It looks like the guys behind Cameron Hearn are tailing off a bit to sort of build up a run. See 4th and 5th go to the outside just to try and get around Cameron Hearn, but We don't see that just yet.
I'm getting worried, guys. It's going to be really close on that pack in front of them of about 5 lap cars. Got another lapper up top they're going to catch for sure. That's a solo car, but they're coming to get two to go here in this race, and I still am not sure what we're going to see here on the white flag lap.
Shane Therian continues to lead the way, and you see the lap car there up ahead in the distance on the outside lane. Still Shane Therian leading, Alan Elwood in second, Cameron Hearn third. What will Hearn do to try and put himself in a position to win?
Might have some more lap traffic spicing things up here. Coming down the back straightaway, 2 to go. Still nobody making the move yet. Kyle Knapp, last car in line. He is a lap car. Other than that, the front 6 drivers all on the lead lap. We got one car hitting the apron, almost wrecking in front of the pack here. He's going to hold it down low. He's trying to get back up onto the track. Oh, my goodness. They couldn't ask for a more chaotic end to this race coming to the white.
Here we go.
Cameron
One
Hearn
lap to
looking
go,
to go
presented
down
by
low.
One to Go Studios. Cameron Hearn going down low on Alan Elwood, trying to get around him for that second spot. It's the final lap of the Area 250. Hearn on the bottom with Therian on the outside, coming down the block.
Shane's going to throw that block in front of Hearn, but now Hearn's gotten himself to the second car in line, lap car high. It's going to be the 52 of Carter Coop. No issues getting around here. Here comes Elwood with a run top.
Elwood trying to go to the outside to break up that Cameron Hearn machine from making a move to the outside. Shane Therian. Here they come into turn 3 for the final time.
They got 3 lap cars just in front of the leaders that they might catch as soon as they hit the finish line. It's actually helping the 38 of Shane Therian right now, though. He's pulling a big draft off of them. They're too wide in front of him. He's going to have to navigate coming to the stripe here.
Here comes Hearn on the bottom, trying to make a move. He can't do it. Shane Therian holds on and wins the Area 250 here in the Lodgebox Series. Boy, it got really close with the lap cars in the end. Thought Cameron Hearn would make a move earlier on that double yellow line. It is legal. You can do it. Believe Hearn was just a little too late in that decision, and it results in Shane Therian winning the Area 250.
Hunter, this was your pick, wasn't it? You picked the pole sitter, and he started up front, and he got it done.
There we go.
First career win, by the way, for Shane Therian. Made the Final Four last season in the Lodgebox Series. Wasn't able to win the championship. Gets his first career race win tonight here at Daytona to kick off season 2.
2 for 2 on the races I've been on the call on, where the pole sitter wins the race.
And probably the most difficult track for that to happen as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Gonna get to see Shane Therian.
Also, second straight race where I'm on the call and Cameron Hearn finished the second.
with a pass in the grass attempt also. So you're going. You got some stats that are been going along with you so far this week. But the 38 Shane Therian burning it down here on the front straightaway. What a victory! What a performance from that entire team.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see Cameron Hearn try to do a pass in the grass at Phoenix, considering there is no grass on the track since the repave. Pass in the leg, who knows?
Pass in the dog leg, something we might have to watch for next week when we go to Phoenix. But the final race of week 1 is wraps, and it's the 38 car of Shane Therian. We're going to get a chance to talk to him here in a moment.
Need to find where these Elwood design guys are hanging out, because they're not in the Discord.
See, we got Cameron Hearn, the second place finisher.
Yep.
We could probably get to him here in a second. We'll give the rest of these guys a moment to see if they want to hop in real quick and get an interview done. The 38 taking it through the grass here at Daytona. High Banks podcast, by the way, on the cover of that car, on the hood of that car, I should say. So, second straight win for them this week.
We got Shane Therian in here and Brad Slaughter. So we're waiting for.
We got him. We'll go ahead and bring him up, number 38. And I'll go ahead. I'll let you take this one, Hunter. It should be a fun one.
Yeah. All right. Now we have the race winner, Shane Therian here. Shane, this is Hunter, Harold, and Jacob in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you guys.
Boy, that one was a close one to the very end. Lap traffic nearly getting in the way of that victory, and I just want to point out, I did pick you to win, so I do feel like I had a little hand in this victory, because Monday night the pole sitter won the race, and Seems like that happened again tonight. Take us through that last lap because we all knew something was going to happen. It wasn't going to be single file all the way to the very end. How were you able to pull it off?
I don't know. It was chaos. It was just lap cars everywhere. I don't know, honestly. I was getting pulled by the lap cars, so I was like, I don't know if Cam can get to me. We'll see what happens. And then at the tri-oval, it just I had no idea. There was just cars everywhere. It was really just a lucky ending, to be quite honest, the way it looked.
But the lap traffic wasn't quite a factor up until turn 4. But we did see Cameron Hearn try to make a move in the grass or on the apron. We saw him do that Monday night. Thought he was going to do it again. It seemed like he was a little too late on his move, and that played into your hand. You led 48 laps. I don't know if it was the most because you and Alan Elwood both led about 40 laps or so. Take us through what this finish is like for a team because you got you, Richard Thomas, Alan Elwood, and Davey Hendricks, all of your teammates finishing inside the top 5. What does this finish mean for the team?
Oh, it's great because I mean it's just me and Alan are returning this season, so we got two new guys full time with us with Thomas and Hendricks. So it's great. We worked well all night. That was the game plan going in. It's just funny that I go an entire season and make the Final Four last year without a win, and I start this one with a win. So we'll see. But I mean, yeah, it's good for the team. Trying to go back to back with the team championship is already looking good for us.
Yeah, I was going to add there, Shane, you touched on it. You were the Final Four last season. You weren't able to get the win last season. You came close in a few races, but talk about the difference that this win's going to make knowing you're locked in now, race 1 of the season, in terms of your playoff push here once we get down to Las Vegas.
I mean, I could be a little bit more aggressive on my strategy calls, but I don't know. I mean, this league's tough. Yeah, so now that I have the win, I can be more, aggressive with strategy, trying to get some more wins. But we'll see. So I'm just happy to get it out of the way because it was a struggle last season.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, congrats on the win. I know you got a lot of cool sponsors on that car. I see High Banks Podcast. They've been giving you some love already. Talk about who helps you get it done and who helped bring this 38 car to victory lane. Yeah,
well, I got to thank High Banks Podcast. I had them on the car today. Rhino USA, Alan for painting the cars, and we got too many that are new right now. So I apologize if I missed anyone. But I also personally, I got the Navy on the car because I'm in the Navy, and then I got my buddy's sponsor, which is FRN, which is just a little icon. But thanks to them, and thanks for you guys for broadcasting. I'm gonna go back and watch this race, so see how it looks.
Oh well, there was there was quite the moment there in the middle of the race. You and Elwood avoided catastrophe there in turn 3, so that was an eye opener for all of us. But it paid off in the very end, and it led to your first career win. And I also want to point out I have not called an Xfinity race up until tonight, so I feel like if the trend goes forward, you win every race of the season.
Well, let's hope.
Let's hope, yeah. All right, well, we'll let you go and celebrate that win with your team. Have a good night.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was race winner Shane Therian getting his first career win in the Lodgebox Series, and we'll find Cameron Hearn up here, finishing second. Cameron, this is Hunter, Harold, and Jacob in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you.
Man, it feels like deja vu all over from Monday night. Except this time you were in second coming off of 4 trying to make the move, but it seemed like you made that move a little too late. Take us through what that last lap was like, because Jacob kept saying, he's like, there is no way these guys finish single file. Something's got to give, and we saw that coming to the white where you made your move.
Yeah, I was kind of the odd man out, and I felt like if I made the move early, they would go the opposite direction that I went. So I didn't want to be freight trained to the back and really not have a chance at the win. I was kind of hoping we'd catch the lap traffic earlier. I felt like if we would have caught them maybe a lap, another lap left in the race, might have had a chance. But coming to the line, I think Shane got their draft, so I really couldn't catch him because he was drafting those guys. But just kind of picking and choosing when to go for it, and basically trying to make sure I finish the best finish I can, knowing that I'm going to have no help at all. So just kind of waited it out and tried to make the move with knowing that if I made it and didn't work out, I wouldn't lose too many spots.
Yeah, we saw the move that was made coming into the trial. Did the lap traffic play into a factor of that? Because honestly, I thought you were going to make the move a bit earlier, but it seemed like you waited until maybe the last second or two to try and make a move.
Yeah, I definitely was waiting for lap traffic. I think Allen checked up. I think those guys got loose, got a little swirly. I didn't check up. I stayed in it, and I made up my mind. If he goes low, I'm gonna go high. If he goes high, I'm gonna go low. And he kind of gave me just enough room to kind of make a move to the inside. And those guys try to draft on the outside. But really, I think Davey was behind me. He came to the inside to help me out a little bit. But honestly, where I was sitting in between that team and seconds, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, we didn't know if the lap cars were going to be a factor coming to the checker flag, and it was right at the very end where it seemed like all chaos was about to ensue again. But yeah, you mentioned it that some of the drivers were loose. We noticed that it seemed like every car was loose tonight, like looser than expected. And you were one of the few guys to hold your line on the outside and try and get that car going. How was your car? Because it seemed like everybody else was loose, and then no one else wanted to try and make a move on the outside.
Yeah, I actually got quite a bit of damage in that big wreck where someone came up the track. I think all my teammates got killed in that. So we had the high line work we were just kind of maintaining, and they got completely destroyed. And luckily, I had about 30 seconds of damage and got it fixed, and it really was fine. But the car definitely got a little loose on entry. I felt like if you had someone really close behind you, typically you're like, hey, don't push somebody in the corner. Tonight, it was almost like, hey, don't be right on somebody in the corner because they could easily loop it. And I think we saw that a couple times tonight. With the setup, you really had to drive it. It wasn't just, drive, like you're on interstate. Like you really had to drive the car tonight. It definitely had a little bit of snappy looseness to it. And if you weren't paying attention, you could easily, get loose. And I know in the broadcast before the big wreck, there was a lot of guys making some moves up and down the track. I don't know if it was moves or, just trying to maintain control of the car.
Yeah, we saw that a good bit. It seemed like it happened more often down the backstretch and on the corner exits where you'd see drivers swerving below the yellow line, above it, in and out of the lanes. It was quite a sight to see. But once again, second place finish here at Daytona. See, you got CNC logging on the car there. Any shout outs you'd like to give out before you go?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for the broadcast as always. Lodgebox, like you said, CNC logging, Lead Entertainment. We had some bad luck as a team this week. I'm looking forward to getting a racetrack where your hand isn't kind of tied to a lot of other people's hand. I think this is not a representation of how good we're going to be as the season goes forward. But we got to work together tonight. We just got some bad luck. I want to thank Jacob. Got a hell of a thing going here. All the guys that show up week in, week out. Had a big field tonight, full field in all the other series. So there's still some spots left. Anybody's listening, thinking about having something to do on a Thursday night with a fixed setup, give us a shout. It's a blast out here. And my number one fan, maybe my only fan who actually cheers for me, my dad. Shout out to him for watching every one of my races.
All righty. Well, we'll let you go, and hopefully you'll build off that second place finish with a win at Phoenix next week.
I appreciate it. See you guys next week. Thank you.
All righty. That was Cameron Hearn, second place finisher. And now we'll bring in third place finisher, the third Elwood Design driver, or actually the second. He finished third. Is Richard Thomas. Richard, Hunter, Harold, and Jake in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Collecting ourselves from that race. Kind of got mellow after the big one in turn 3 and seemed like it was going to be a single file finish the rest of the way, but obviously that was not the case. And with the lap cars that were seemed like it was in the way there at the very end of it, you wound yourself up with a third place finish. Take us through what that last lap was like.
Yeah, that last lap was we knew it was going to be challenging because we were catching that lead pack of lapped cars rather quickly. Our team here at Elwood Designs Esports were fantastic, talented drivers, so we knew we could race it out amongst ourselves without putting a hamper on the team finishing. So I saw a gap when we got up on those lap cars, and I decided to take it, and that landed me in third place.
Oh, I didn't know if it cut off or not, but yeah, you wound up getting third place. Seemed like it was going to be Therian or Elwood getting the win. Was there a thought with you and fellow teammate Davey Hendricks to try and pass Cameron Hearn to kind of secure a 1, 2, 3, 4 finish for the Elwood group?
Yeah, ultimately that was the plan. Like I said before, we didn't want to do anything that's gonna, ruin, a top 5 for almost all the cars we had in the field. So if the opportunity was there and we could shuffle him out, we were definitely going to do it. But we weren't going to push the issue. Our outlook on the team here is, season long. So with the talent we have in this team and the cars are fast, I think we're really just setting the tone for the season. I think other teams have been put on notice that we're here to run up front and we're here to win. So I'm glad we started the season off on this good of a foot.
Yep, the entire group finished inside the top 5, finishing first, third, fourth, and fifth. You being the second highest driver. Congrats on the third place finish. Are there any shout outs you'd like to give out before you head out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank High Banks Podcast for jumping on board with us and really helping us out. We have backing by Reaper Speed Labs, Roderick Racing Development. Everyone go check out Rhino USA. Enter that code Elwood and you get 10% off on your order. And I'd like to thank Finer Details Automotive Detailing for backing this team. And like I said, we're putting everyone on notice. We're here to win.
We'll see you in Victory Lane at Phoenix next week. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
That was third place Richard Thomas. And we'll go ahead and get our finishing order here in just a moment. We'll see if we can pop it up. Bam, right there. Right on cue. So Shane Therian gets the win. Cameron Hearn finishing second. Richard Thomas third. Alan Elwood fourth. And rounding out the top 5 is, Davey Hendricks. AJ Ryrick going to finish 6th. Garrett Grant 7th. Bryce Senesac 8th. 9th is Charles Canita. And 10th is Andrew Santo.
It was a wild one out there tonight for sure. 11th place, Forrest Smith in the number 84. Ed Moore Sr. comes home with a 12th place run. 13th, Colin Fambro. Kyle Knapp comes home 14th. Zack Swissgood, number 24, is going to finish 15th tonight. Christopher Buds in the 16th spot in the number 13 car. Carter Coop is going to come home in the 17th position. 18th place, Ed Robertson in the 64. James Scioli with a 19th place run to start the season. Rounding out the top 20 finishers, Travis Beckner in the number 28.
Now we'll go through the rest of the field. 21st is Rick Christensen. 22nd, Adam Capps. 23rd is Ryan Swan. And Uncle Freddie, 24th place finish in his first race. Got to be a good run there. Eli Green finishes 25th. Jacob Hudson, 26th. Ricky Harden, 27th. Christian Martinez, 28th. 29th is Dustin Carroll. And 30th is Mason Kane, with the 12 of Kyle Smith being disqualified after the controversial big one that occurred in turn 3. And we'll take a look at our Elwood Design race recap. Shane Therian won the race with 48 laps led, 2 cautions for 6 laps, 31 drivers in the field, with Bryce Senesac getting the fastest lap at a 46.198. Harold, I'm not sure if Therian led the most laps or if it was Alan Elwood, but both of which led at least 39 laps. Not sure which one led the most, because that is a bonus point, leading the most laps.
And
Therian. Okay, Therian by a long
48. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Therian with 48 laps left, so that's another bonus point for him. And we'll get our final thoughts here before we wrap things up and head over to the West Coast for Phoenix. Jake, what did you think of the race?
Man, I definitely probably just a strange race from the top of the green to the end of this thing. Lap cars all over the place. A lot of drivers not happy with the way lap traffic played out tonight. A lot of league officials not happy with the way lap traffic played out tonight. So definitely something that we're going to try to clean up for next week. But overall, definitely happy to see Shane grab his first career win. It was cool to see him hop up in season 1 and compete for wins the way he did and make the Final Four. Now he's got the win sticker to go on that race car already in season 2. So it's definitely was a deserving one as well, which I think is something that a lot of people can at least leave tonight with a good feeling about. But overall, definitely an entertaining race, I'll say that. And I'm ready to move on to Phoenix.
Harold, what about you? Final thoughts as we wrap it up from Daytona?
Well, we're past the big one, going from one of the largest tracks, because Daytona is just a tad bit bigger, going to Phoenix, which is going to run like a short. So we're going to go from the big boy to the little guy and see who can capitalize on the momentum change. I kind of agree with Cameron Hearn talking about. This is Daytona. That's in Talladega. Is a lot of other drivers can affect your day. Where Phoenix should be a lot more into the driver's hands, and we should see some more racing. Hopefully, these guys will get a little bit more used to being around one another, and we'll get back to some green flag pit stops and our low caution count that area is famous for.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see that next week. Monday night, we'll have the Cup Series come back. Tuesday nights will be the Truck Series, and then Wednesday's an off day. I'm so used to running races on Wednesday. Wednesday is an off day for the league, and then 1 week from tonight, we'll be back in Phoenix. From everyone up here in the booth to make everything possible, Harold Darner, executive producer, Jacob Bell, owner of Area, and the announcer, Ernest Levy, saying so long, and we'll see you next week.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.